Did you know that our planet is made up of approximately 36.8 billion acres of land? 11 billion acres of that is farmland. Subtract another 15.7 billion of uninhabitable land such as high mountains and harsh desert. Add in human life to the equation, and let's just say the amount of true wilderness remaining on our planet is roughly about 19%, or 6.9 billion acres, out of 36.8 billion. This might seem like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not. For example, the US National Park Service oversees just about 43.8 million acres of wilderness, a figure that doesn't even come close to 100 million. Let that sink in for a second. For this video, I wanted to focus on a region and park that I recently visited. This is an alpine forest on a glaciated mountain range. This is an old-growth temperate rainforest, one of the last few in North America. This is rugged and protected coastline full of sea stacks and dark sandy beaches. These three drastically different ecosystems are all within a few hours' drive of each other. They are all intertwined in the biodiverse hotbed that is Olympic National Park. This is what approximately 1 million acres of land looks like. Hey everyone, it's Cy, and welcome to Olympic National Park. We're on top of Hurricane Ridge. As you can see, the weather's quite beautiful. We're going to go on this just a little bit more, but the weather is socking us in and we're not quite prepared for it, but let's just see what we can find, and I hope to take you guys with us. Take you guys? I will. Hurricane Ridge is one of the easiest and most accessible entryways to the Olympic Mountains. The Olympics form a cluster of steep-sided peaks surrounded by heavily forested foothills and deep valleys. They were born at sea 20 million years ago through plate tectonic subduction. Guarding the Olympics is none other than Mount Olympus itself, the highest point, and also keeper of 8 glaciers. Olympus receives so much precipitation because it has one of the steepest reliefs and is just 35 miles away from the Pacific Ocean. The high amount of rain and snow creates a huge number of snowfields and glaciers that crown the Olympic peaks. There are an estimated 184 glaciers. Throughout the year, the Olympics feed into the surrounding landscape, which radiates outwards on all sides of the park. This is the driver of all life in this region. The weather up here today wasn't the best for views, but it sure was beautiful nonetheless. They say that water is life, and there's no better example than this. Rain in the Pacific Northwest is usually an everyday sort of thing. We were lucky though, it usually only rained for a few hours of each day as our journey continues. It's day 2 of Olympic National Park. We're on the trail Lover's Lane, which is right after the Soldic Falls Trail. We just saw some beautiful falls, we saw some jumping salmon earlier, some bald eagles, and now we're standing in some beautiful old-growth temperate rainforest, and it's just wonderful. It smells amazing here, the air is crisp, and I just love it here, and I can't wait to show you more. The park is home to 4 temperate rainforests, with the Hoh and Kalaloch being the most popular. These areas are the wettest areas in the continental US, receiving 12 or more feet of rainfall a year. Combine that with the annual snowmelts from the Olympic mountain range, and you have yourself a recipe for something magical and a lot of flowing water. Water is a way of life here. It's all-encompassing and all-knowing. It's a path, a direction, and a way forward. You can quite literally feel the rainforest breathing and living as you explore it. Inside the rainforest, you can find the forest landscape dominated by coniferous trees such as the Sitka spruce, western hemlock, coast Douglas fir, and western red cedar. You'll find saplings, lichen-shrouded trees, and walls of moss lining just about everything in a rainy, wet wonderland. It was also amazingly and peacefully just so quiet. According to acoustic ecologist Gordon Hempton, the Hoh Rainforest is the quietest spot in the lower 48 states, as the area is still well preserved from human noise pollution. The serenity is real here. It's easy to lose oneself exploring, just meandering and going with the flow. Life seems to just always find a way. The rain, snow, and meltwater from the Olympic Mountains and its surrounding lush rainforests have now made its way to one of many exits into the ocean, thus continuing the cycle of all aspects of life here, with water being the main driver. This is the rugged coastline on the western side of the Olympic Peninsula. 73 miles of it is inside the park and home to rocky headlands, sandy beaches, tide pools, and uniquely formed sea stacks. Home to an abundance of life and big tides, there's a lot to explore as no 2 miles of Olympic coastline is alike. If you're lucky, you can even spot whales and orcas in the distance. It wasn't in the cards for us though. You can find thick groves of trees right next to the sand, and in a lot of cases you can find tons of driftwood from large trees on the beach. Driftwood is created from nearby fallen trees and upriver from the rainforest. These trees will be eventually ground into a fine sediment from the relentless sway of the ocean. This sediment will eventually be used to create new life, and thus the cycle continues, from snow to rain to ocean. I didn't actually realize when I had planned out this trip I would be visiting 3 very different yet intertwined ecosystems. The water flowing from ecosystem to ecosystem is like veins flowing through a body. It dawned on me inside the rainforest just how interconnected each ecosystem was. And you can say that for any area in the world really. It's just harder to see in areas with more human development and less conservation. Olympic is just one of those areas that's been protected, preserved, and on a larger scale not been destroyed by humans. 95% of Olympic is designated wilderness that very few people have explored, including myself. And that is a good thing. This is what 1 million acres of land really looks like, a large but tiny fraction of our planet. And each fraction is wildly different. These parks and protected areas are great reminders of how our Earth really works and operates, and they're great to learn from too. If you're further interested in learning more about Olympic National Park, I'll leave a few resources and links in the description. And finally, I just encourage you to get out and explore. If you can, bring a friend or a family member, share your experience together, and make a new memory today. And if nothing else, I hope this video has convinced you to further appreciate our beautiful natural world. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.